wrong?
I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Vol.3.
It was that bad?
No, it was good. Finally, a good Marvel movie. Holy shit.
It was good?
Yes.
It was good!
It was good.
Welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast, episode 85. And on today's episode, we are going to be reviewing and discussing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, another Marvel movie?
We're back talking about the MCU somehow, some way.
Oh,
Just
God.
when I thought I was out.
They pulled me back in. Ooh.
Just when I thought I was out.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. So not only did I have to watch one MCU movie to prepare for this episode, I had to watch all three because I actually had never seen this trilogy. If you guys watch the Real Talk Podcast, you know I'm not the biggest MCU guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured this would be a good excuse to, get them in my watch list and get them done, considering the third one is coming out.
Yeah.
It just came out.
Yeah.
And I got a lot to say.
All right, man.
I got a lot to say. Before we get into 3, I'm going to start talking about my thoughts of 1 and 2 and kind of the beginning of the trilogy. And I watched Guardians 1 last week. I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually.
Nice.
More than I thought I was going to. I think that Guardians has its distinct style. Like you see James Gunn in these movies.
Oh, yeah.
Way more than you see in most of this MCU stuff.
Yeah.
And it had a lot of charm, It did have that, like, sarcastic, like, MCU shit.
I think this is what started it.
Yeah.
Because with James Gunn's
I could see that.
first Guardians, like, you watch and you're like, yeah, the jokes are a little bit iffy at times, but at the same time, it's so distinct and unique from everything else.
Yeah.
The issue with Marvel was they looked at that film and they're like, oh, we got to have every character act like Peter Quill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, because Peter Quill is a very different character.
Right. It works when he's making these sarcastic jokes and references.
Yeah.
Because he's from Earth.
He's referencing 80s shit not because it's hip. It's because that's all he remembers from.
That's all he knows from
That's
like
the
his
clever
childhood,
shit.
right? And he's holding on to
Yeah.
to his childhood memories.
Yeah.
So it works extremely well here, and it's not out of place or forced.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was super refreshing. Like, I really enjoyed that. A big standout of Guardians 1. I mean, obviously the characters are extremely memorable.
Yeah. They're all distinct.
You love everybody.
Yeah.
You love everybody in different ways. You care about them pretty equally. Rocket immediately stole my heart.
Yeah, Rocket.
Rocket is
Rocket Raccoon,
hilarious.
man. Yeah.
I love it. And the music as well. Like
Yes.
their use of like 70s, 80s music really hits hard in 1 especially, I think. And maybe it's because I watched these like back-to-back days, all 3,
Yeah.
that by 3 I was kind of like, all right, they're overplaying this fucking music thing.
yeah.
It's like every time they get into like something exciting, they have to drop an 80s track or some shit.
Yeah.
And that was kind of getting redundant towards by the time I got to watching 3. But 1 was extremely solid. I liked Ronan too, the villain. He was
Okay.
pretty scary. I was into it.
Nice.
The whole Thanos storyline. It felt
Yeah.
very Star Wars.
Yes.
Like Ronan is like doing like the video call with him, like he's Palpatine. And 1 felt very familiar, felt very Star Wars with characters that I liked. So I really liked that one. 2, I thought was okay.
Somewhat of a downgrade.
Somewhat of a downgrade from 1. Still had its moments, like the funeral for the pirate guy.
Yeah.
At the end. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names, but that like really hit hard. Like I got actually emotional, and I was like, oh, I didn't know this movie
It's a good
was
sacrifice.
capable of like getting me to feel like this. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting it. So that scene really hit hard for me when they all showed up to his funeral.
Yeah.
That really hit hard and kind of redeemed the movie for me. Really enjoyed that. But I did think it was a little bit of a downgrade. And then that leads us to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I saw last night.
Can I just say something? I have talked shit about Marvel for quite some time now. I think post Endgame, I have given so little of a shit about this franchise.
Yep.
It's so bland. It's so unoriginal.
Yep.
You know, AI and whatnot. Nathan's drinking and Christian's mad. He's like telling you to point the mic. This is great. The coffee is on the other side because it doesn't look right if you're angled.
Oh, my coffee. I got the large. I should have got the medium. Showing up in the shot, eh? Okay.
That's hilarious. I was just wondering, it's like he's hand signaling you.
I was like, is he mad that I'm drinking the coffee? Or?
Back to my Marvel rant. So I have hated these films because of what they have become now. They've been like Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange 2,
Yeah.
Black Panther, these 3-hour fucking slog fests. And I call them slog fests because I don't remember a single fucking thing from these films.
Yeah, they're immediately out of your head when you after watching them.
They're bland, unoriginal, and I'm saying that because Guardians 3 was the exact opposite. I have never felt so much emotion in my fucking life. I got so teary-eyed at so many moments. This movie gave me emotions that I never felt in any other Marvel film. It was fucking
Bro.
insane. It's the best MCU film. James Gunn hit it out of the park. It's his best directed film. Straight up. I'm not even fucking joking, guys. You think this is like some gaslight joke prank or whatever. No, it is not. Watch this fucking movie. It's great. It's a better ending than Endgame. It's a better movie than all the other Marvel films. Fucking feelings all the way. And yeah, we can go more into it. What did you think?
Wow, Neves. We got Neves to like an MCU.
You got me,
movie.
man. You
Well,
fucking got me.
MCU got him.
Holy shit.
That's crazy. That's big for you to say, Nev.
Dude.
Because I know you've just been so annoyed with this MCU shit. I mean, me too, but I just kind of stay away from it.
Yeah,
you have been
man.
subjected to watching a
Holy
lot of this
fuck,
shit.
man.
And
Refreshing. This
Oh,
was so
yeah.
fucking refreshing.
my thoughts are exactly that. Refreshing. Guardians, even at Volume 3, feels refreshing, feels distinct, feels like James Gunn. And liked it a lot. My only gripe is that Rocket the Raccoon is the carry for me of this franchise, and he's out most of the movie, which I wish we got more Rocket. But it's the catalyst for some of this real emotion that you're talking about. This emotion that I've never ever felt in the entire MCU.
Yeah, I think Rocket is the fucking holy shit. If you told me I was gonna feel hard emotions over a fucking cartoon raccoon, I'd be like, nah, man, you're fucking nuts, man. But literally, this gave me like Kung Fu Panda 2 flashbacks in terms of the hard emotion of the flashbacks.
I know.
These characters,
Great flashbacks.
and sure, I get it. The premise itself of these flashbacks with Rocket are weird. But it doesn't matter because the emotions are there, and it's like, fuck, man, with his friends and stuff like that, the dialogue. I don't know why, man. I get a little emotional when it comes to animals, man. And
There was a woman in my row sobbing.
yeah, man.
Sobbing. I went with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Both of us were like fucking holding back
It's
tears.
hard. It's hard,
It was.
man.
I was getting choked, but there was a
Yeah.
woman just actively sobbing in the row
Yeah.
that I was in, and I'm like, wow, like this is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, you know what's even funnier too is that this film, I would argue, is probably some of the darkest themes that they've handled in a Marvel film. You're dealing with animal cruelty, genocide, post-depression, dealing with subject matters that are pretty serious coming from, even adults our age and older. Have fun, kids.
Yeah.
Have fun. I don't fucking care. I think this is one of those instances where the PG-13 rating is actually warranted.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
for sure.
I see fucking articles nowadays of people complaining about Guardians 3. It's like, oh my god, this is too dark. It's a PG-13 film. What the fuck did you expect?
Yeah, I feel like the franchise always had like a kind of mature,
Somewhat
it- it's-
an edge.
Yeah, it's kind of made for like a lot of adult consideration, right?
Yeah.
The music, the references, all of that,
Yeah.
right? So that doesn't surprise me. And yeah, like the animal cruelty,
Yeah,
the
man.
testing on animals, and
Mm-hmm.
man, that's dark.
Yeah.
That's dark for a lighthearted MCU film about talking raccoons and aliens.
Yeah. I also love it too because this film and some superhero films have done this in the past. A lot of what the director puts into their work, they always like have instances of like how much heart and soul they put into it. So like I was thinking about that with James Gunn in this movie. How long did this film take to make? Because really think about it. Between Guardians 2 and the third one, he went through Twitter shit,
Yeah.
getting fired, getting DC, getting rehired, getting DC again. And like, people are like, oh, what's the big deal? It's like, well, think about it. It's like they basically took him out of the picture during the whole Avengers Endgame Infinity War situation. So when he comes back, they're like, oh, yeah, welcome arms. Also, yeah, Gamora's different, ... this ... It's like, oh, thanks, guys. It's almost like
Which is fucked up because I think he sets it up so well in one. Like with the Thanos stuff.
Yeah.
Like it works so well.
it's really well done. But like another thing too is like he's dealing with that shit on top of and I don't know if this is a producer Kevin Feige thing, but I thought it was hilarious where remember in Endgame it was like Thor was gonna be with the Guardians of the Galaxy and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have so many adventures together. And the two directors that worked on that concept were like saying, fuck that. It was Taika Waititi is like, all right, here's one scene with Thor and them. That's it. And James Gunn's like, yeah, we're not doing that. Let me do what I want to do, not what the producers want to do. And I fucking hate this weird instance of like, oh yeah, let's just keep on going. Let's have Thor. Let's have.
Thank God they didn't do that. I think partially why I enjoyed watching these so much is that it felt separate from the rest of the shit.
Yes.
Because I haven't seen a lot of the rest of the
Yes.
shit. And I was almost never confused.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always knew what was going on.
He even made fun of it in the elevator scene. You could tell that's James Gunn looking at Marvel
Yeah.
like, yeah, guys, look how fucking mumbled and stupid your fucking continuity is. All right. And then Peter Quill is like explaining to this random person, like, yeah, so yeah, Gamora, she's no longer Gamora anymore, and I'm not in love with her, and all this fucking shit happened. Thanos, Infinity Stones.
Oh, that's a great scene. Very
It's like,
funny.
yeah, it's goofy shit, and they're
Yeah.
making fun of it. So I respect that. But there's also emotional moments because I feel like James Gunn really felt it where, what was the guy's name? The gold guy. The super.
Oh, the what's that actor's name?
He's got a very superhero name.
Will.
Adam Warlock.
Oh, Adam Warlock, but the actor is Will
Yeah,
Poulter.
yeah, really great performance as well. But I remember, I think it was Groot was saving him and stuff like that. And he's like, "Whoa, why are you saving me?" He's like, "Some people deserve second chances." Again, very cliche line. But
Yeah.
but here's where I got like a very emotional was look at James Gunn's career. So when you think of that,
It's a deeper line.
it's a deeper cut for me. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, man. Like, this guy's been through so much shit that it's like, I fucking respect the hell that he could make a film. This is a $250 million film and put so much of his own fucking heart into this, as well as the crew being all with it and saying, yes, this is the last one.
Yeah.
There's closure. Thank Christ. Like, fuck. It's great. And it doesn't feel like it's the biggest, it's not like end of the world scenario type of momentum. It doesn't feel like a Thanos moment. You know what I mean?
the stakes aren't that high.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like, it's more like the film is kind of just saving your friend, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's not
kinda-
like, hey, I'm Kang the Conqueror,
Right.
Ant-Man. I'm going to destroy the universe. It's like, I
Yeah.
don't fucking care.
Which is great that they don't have keep upping the stakes. Like that's the thing about a lot of MCU sequels,
Yeah.
right? It's like the stakes have to get bigger and the universe has to be more fucked.
Yeah.
And it's like I would argue that 1 has the highest stakes of Guardians of the
Yes.
Galaxy, right? And then 2 and 3 have much lower stakes, but are still good films.
I love him. I love the fact that in 2, the whole inciting incident is just rocket stealing batteries.
Yeah,
Dude, can we just have moments like that? Can we
Yeah.
just have moments of just like, hey, yeah, I'm doing something quirky. What's gonna happen? Oh, and then like it's literally the reason why they're in that situation.
I like that because I thought at first I thought it was just like, oh, that was just like one of the sarcastic jokes they were making where he like lifts it
Yeah.
up and he's like, oh, look what I got. I'm not empty-handed, right?
Exactly.
But then that ends up being the plot of the inciting incident of the whole movie, and
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Love that.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it a lot, especially for a sequel where they just save the universe.
Mm-hmm.
For that to be the inciting incident is really cool, and it shows that you don't have to keep up in the stakes every movie for a movie to be good.
Yeah. No, exactly. It just reminded me of, although I wasn't a huge fan of James Gunn's version of Suicide Squad, way better than the 2016 one, which literally felt like they tried to replicate Guardians at times.
Yeah.
With the music. It's like, oh, instead of 80s music, let's do 70s Bohemian Rhapsody. Let's do Purple Lamborghini. Yeah, look how fucking hip we are. And then James Gunn's like, nah, let me just do it my way. So then He did his
You know
way.
what? After watching this trilogy, I am infinitely more excited about James Gunn and DCU
Yeah.
and Superman Legacy and all of that coming up.
Mhm.
I understand James Gunn's style now,
Mhm.
and I think he'll bring that to DC as well.
Yep, I fully agree. Before Guardians 3, I was very skeptical because his way of filmmaking is very different from what I would think of when I think of Superman films. I always
I
think,
agree.
I
I
always,
agree with that.
I
But
always think of like Brad Bird, Steven Spielberg, but after seeing this, if Superman Legacy has half the emotion this film has, fine by
Yeah.
me.
I think he's definitely more than capable of touching the emotional aspects of Superman.
Yeah,
And when you're doing an IP like Superman, all you can ask for, man, is a good, is like a unique take, like a
Yep.
distinct style.
Exactly.
And James Gunn's gonna bring that, whether we like it or not. We'll
Yeah.
see. But James Gunn's capable of doing that.
absolutely. Another thing I really liked about this film was I'd say compared to the first two, the humor and dramatic scenes feel much better blended together.
I agree.
It's the tone, like they toned down the humor a lot. I feel like that was for the better. I love Drax. I feel like the way they handled his character in this was beautiful.
Bro, it's
I
awesome.
love the fact that he's able to, help the kids out. It's such a cheesy. I get it. Like if you explain the premise, if you explain the climax, like yeah, they save all the animals, they save all the kids. People are like, what the fuck? What is this Noah's Ark shit? And it's
Yeah,
like, dude,
it's-
trust me.
Yeah, yeah. When they're walking on, all I can think about is Noah's Ark. When I
Legit.
see a bunch of like
Yeah.
random ass animals running on. But yeah, it's like you said. If you just had to explain the premise to me, I
Yeah.
would be like, that sounds corny.
Yeah.
But it's executed perfectly,
Yes.
so it works. It
Oh,
just
yeah.
works.
And another thing too, which I read recently, and I did not know this, but major respects. This is like the movie with the most amount of prosthetics.
Whoa,
It
yeah.
beat
I mean,
out.
I
it-
could see that.
It beat out the Grinch from 2000, Jim Carrey.
Oh my god.
22,500 prosthetics they used for this film.
Wow.
Shout out to every single person who had to put those things on. That takes like 5, 6, 8 hours. I don't know. It takes forever to put that shit on. Like I could just imagine that whole world of like all the animal human hybrids or whatever. It's like imagine you're an extra and you're putting on like a bunny fursuit and stuff, and you're like, I'm here.
Right, because they had to. That's another thing I want to talk about a little bit because I really liked was the whole Counter Earth.
Yes.
It was very cool world building,
Mhm.
and like you said, they don't just show one little part of it. They show all these like animal humans like
Mhm.
living their regular lives, and
Yeah.
it's pretty convincing. Like it's good.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this film perfectly. I think even PETA said it. And it's just like, this is what we wanted. This is the perfect. I'm like, yeah, kind of. In terms of like animals and stuff like that. And, I'm like, damn, this is. All you had to do was make a good movie,
The last thing I was doing, last thing I was expecting was to be emotional coming out of this movie.
Yeah, man.
And I was extremely emotional coming out of this movie.
Very emotional. I loved the way it ended. It was a great. Nobody had to die. Nobody had to sacrifice. Nobody had to do any of that. It was just a nice wave.
Which I thought was gonna happen
Yeah.
so many times.
everyone thought. I thought so too. I thought Rocket was gonna die.
thought Rocket was gonna
Dude,
die.
imagine that scene if it played out like he actually did die. I'd be like, all right, I'm just never gonna leave this theater. I'm probably just gonna wait until
Yeah.
everyone's gone.
Yeah, I would not be okay with that.
Woo! Either him or Drax. I thought one of those two were gonna sacrifice.
That's what they were hinting at, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Drax always been that guy, like ready to sacrifice himself.
Mhm.
So I thought this was gonna be the time where he finally like doesn't get out of it.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't go the cliche word because everyone thought that, as well as, oh, let me guess, James Gunn is gonna find a way to get Gamora and Peter Quill back together, and I'm thinking, don't do that, don't do that, let it pass, let it move on, and he does.
And he does perfectly
And I'm
because they
like-
have a moment.
Yes.
It's not like you don't get robbed of that moment. You
Mhm.
get that moment, but then they move on and they all kind of go their separate ways.
Yeah.
And it's a great open ending. Like
Mhm.
no sadness, no
Yeah.
like major events. Everybody's alive.
Yeah.
Everybody's good. Everybody's gonna go find themselves.
I like Peter Quill. I feel like if there was any character that seemed very downplayed, I guess because Volume 2 was a very family oriented on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Volume 3 is like, all right, Gamora doesn't like me. Now I guess I'll be with my family now.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That still fucking got me because it's just like, man, he went through so much shit in his life
Mm-hmm.
that he was able to just hug his grandfather and just be like, yeah, I'm going to live a normal life now. And I'm
Another
like,
scene that got me so much more emotional than I thought.
yeah.
I was like,
Loved
wow,
it.
that hits extremely hard because, yeah, I mean, you can always relate to like just running away. Like at any point, anybody I feel like can relate to just like running away from your problems or running
Yeah.
away from trauma that happened in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to finally confront that at the end, it was such great closure.
Yeah.
This movie does a great job of closure. Please, Marvel, never touch this IP.
They're going to touch it. They're going to make a Volume 4. It's going to have Adam Warlock, Rocket Raccoon, and they're all going to fight another thing. But at the same time, it seems so irrelevant now because you look back and you're just like, I'm checked out after this film. After
Yeah, we
watching-
got a trilogy.
Yeah.
It's good. You know what? Whatever they do after this, fuck it.
You see, you remember the Marvels trailer we reacted to?
Yeah.
Now, after watching this film, what are your interest in watching that film? They're in the negatives. I don't give a fuck
I
about
don't
that
give a
film.
fuck.
I think it's because we're not 8.
Yeah.
We're not 8 years old. We've grown out of these films, and that's fine. A newer generation can.
Yeah, I understand that. I think there is an audience for the Marvels,
Yeah.
100%.
I'm pretty sure it's like the age range is similar to the child actress in that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, I'm nerding out. Hey, I'm like that character. I'm nerding out too.
Exactly.
And I'm over here I'm like Peter Quill, man. I'm like old and shit. And I'm like, dude, I want to just stay home and have cereal, you
Yeah.
know? Like I'm at that point in my life where I'm just like, I need to check out, you know?
It's true. I think this movie is made for people like our age group and
Yeah.
older. This movie is made for adults.
Very, very relatable. If you were a kid seeing Iron Man and you're old, you're going to relate to this film a lot more than you think.
Yeah.
This feels so relatable more than like the fucking Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I don't know. I feel young. I feel old watching those films too.
Definitely.
Where it's like, I get it. Sarcasm.
And yeah. And at the end of the day, this is like over the top ridiculous sci-fi.
Yes.
But it has so many relatable storytelling beats and elements to it and characters
Yes.
that it really resonates with adults, even though it is this over the top like alien planet. Like
Right.
that's why I draw parallels to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, it's over the top and ridiculous, but it has these themes and characters that you really care about and resonate with.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people will make fun of the humor and stuff like that. But let's be honest, like was the OG Star Wars trilogy? Did the humor always land?
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
No, it didn't. I get it. Nostalgia is gonna hit you harder, but I guarantee you, like kids who saw the first Guardians, they're gonna watch it 20, 30 years from now, and they're gonna treat it like the OG Star Wars. I personally think.
This trilogy is going to age like fine wine, I believe. And
Yeah.
that's how many movies can you say that about in the MCU?
This is the best MCU trilogy. What
You know what I mean?
It's the
Like-
most consistent.
Yeah.
There wasn't any director changes. There wasn't any rewrites. It was literally James Gunn wrote and directed Volume 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
That's it.
And so much of the MCU feels like a moment. It's like when Endgame happens, it's a moment, right?
Civil War was a moment.
But this trilogy, I feel like, is going to age gracefully and might be better in 10 years when you look back at the MCU.
yeah. Even the first one, the effects hold up really well.
Effects are good.
Came out 10 years
Yeah.
ago, guys.
That's unbelievable. It's really crazy that, I mean, James Gunn has been doing this for, has devoted a decade essentially to this trilogy.
Yeah, I love it. I haven't seen the Christmas special though.
I haven't seen that either.
I might check that one out. Apparently that
I might save that one for the holiday season.
Yeah, it apparently answers questions because the one thing I was confused about was with Nebula and Peter Quill. Apparently they're siblings.
Whoa.
They mentioned that briefly in this film, and I was like, wait, did I hear that right? Or did I just hear it like, oh, we're brothers?
They mentioned that?
Briefly.
I completely
Briefly.
glossed over that.
I think they said like a throwaway line, and I was like, whoa, wait, hold on. What?
What the fuck?
Who's this dog? What, the talking dog? What? What's going
What
on?
the hell?
Even though that whole subplot, I was like, you know what? I fuck with it.
Oh, I liked it.
Yeah, even though I didn't know what the fuck those characters were. Like I knew what that guy was, James Gunn's brother. He was in the other movies. He takes the place of the guy whistles.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, MCU fans. I don't know.
Sean
all the
Gunn
names.
is Kraglin.
Kraglin, but like the guy he takes his place with. Name. It's a name. I like how you find out Rocket's name, why he calls himself that. It's very emotional. It's not like other films
Yeah.
that try to retcon it, like Han Solo.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I'm alone. Oh, so you're Han Solo. Like, I hate that. This actually works.
It's cool, yeah, how finding out the backstory.
It's emotional.
And then not only that, when he sees the baby raccoons, and
Ah, dude,
he
don't
look-
even fucking say that,
he
man.
looks on that door and he sees raccoon, and he's like, "I am a raccoon." I
Yeah,
was
man.
like, "Oh,
yeah, that shit's
he is a raccoon."
don't, dude, that whole fucking. I know what you're doing, Marvel. I know what you're doing, James Gunn. You're making me emotional.
And it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
And it worked.
You're gonna shove cute animals in my face that look like they're scared of their lives. Yeah, okay. I know what you're doing, and it fucking worked.
So I've saved the most controversial question for last. What do you think of Groot breaking character and saying a different line?
Dude, that was nice.
I thought it was nice.
Fuck it.
Yeah, nice way to cap the trilogy. Let him say, "I love you."
Everyone
guys."
complains about everything. Like people complain about, oh, this Groot looks different from the first one. It's like, yeah, it's called character development. Get fucked. Like,
Yeah, it's cool that Groot has
It's
these
a
different
visual-
forms. That's the thing about Groot.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about him is he can come in these different forms.
Yeah, he was nice. It
I
was
love Groot.
ah,
I finally understand. Guardians came out when I was working at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
The first one, and we had so many Guardians of the Galaxy toys.
Yeah.
And I remember there was like this pot Groot that used to dance, and I always used to play with it in the aisles when I should have been working. But
It's so
now I
nice.
understand the likability of Groot.
I
Those
think-
used to fly off the shelves. People love Groot.
it's great. Another thing, shout out to Howard the Duck.
Yo,
Howard the Duck is in this film. He's playing poker, man.
Howard the Duck looks like he's had a rough life since
He's had
the
a rough
fucking-
life.
since the
You know,
80s.
Marvel, I'll let you have this one. If you make like a 30-minute short film out of Howard the Duck, I'll watch it. I'll
We'll
watch it just for you guys.
We'll watch it. In fact, we will review it.
We'll review Howard the Duck. Bring back Howard the Duck, all right? I don't want to see him in fucking cameos. You guys make billions of dollars. You can make a Howard the Duck short film.
Neves, I will end off with getting your score out of 10 for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, I'm giving this a fucking solid 8 out of 10.
Ba-boom! 8 out of 10.
I know.
I'm going to give this one a... You know what? I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10 as well.
Yeah.
It deserves it. It pulled on the heartstrings. It did everything right. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, if you haven't seen it, please go see that in theaters. It hits.
Yes.
And we will end it off there. Thank you for watching this episode of the Real Talk Podcast. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to your boys. Take care. Brush your hair.
Peace out, y'all.